a female monarch, the veins on the wings are thicker. On a male monarch, the veins are skinnier. That you'll see, all the little black lines are skinnier. And they have a dot on each side of the wing, like in the rear. So that's how you could tell the difference between a male and a female on them, which I didn't know either. So now it's like every time I see a butterfly, I'm like, oh, that's a boy, that's a girl.
Yeah, that's neat and makes the whole naming process fun, because it's just
Really
yeah.
We cataloged how long they were in their chrysalis, it was cool to get to hold them and just let them like walk around and really get to see them up close. They're just really beautiful animals. They really are. There are, if your viewers are interested, if you go on YouTube, National Geographic has some really great documentaries out on the flight of the monarchs, as well as other people documented their whole, everything they did, to protect the butterflies and things they learned about butterflies. There was one I saw yesterday. It was called The Life of a Monarch Butterfly by Dominique Lalonde Films. It's about 15 minutes long. That shows you up close from caterpillar to butterfly. That was really cool. Because, it happened so fast when I saw the butterfly hanging in a J hook, and I kept checking because I wanted to see them start to go into this chrysalis, how they do it. It is such a quick thing when they do it. I missed it every time.
Oh.
So I had to watch it on a movie.
Oh, I was going to say, when you were talking about it, I was like, that's fascinating that you caught all these different moments.
See them wiggle, and I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And, if you just like walk inside and walk out, they're in the chrysalis. And it's like, oh my gosh. What's even fascinating about that, I found out, is it's really kind of like, it sounds gross, but like caterpillar soup at that point. When they're in that chrysalis, when they first go in and their skin comes off, it's just liquid. I mean, so they go from this beautiful caterpillar with a skin, right, into this chrysalis where it's like caterpillar soup until this whole transformation takes place. So, I mean, no other creature on this planet does anything that quick, and emerges as something else.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fascinating to see life on such a tiny level and to be able to see all of these details play out. You mentioned a couple of documentaries and shows to watch that are really interesting. Do you have any other resources that you recommend for somebody who wants to learn more about this?
Honestly, I got such a great education just from watching those documentaries. I picked ones like National Geographic, like, ones that I thought were really, they're really well sourced, and they had doctors and experts on them. And YouTube videos from people who have been doing this that are more experienced than I am. They have, even some of them have question and answers, on them. Like, I noticed this. What does this mean? What happens? I mean, for whatever reason, sometimes they, one of their other things they have going against them is there's these little flies apparently that lay eggs in the cocoon, in the chrysalis. And so it's like these parasitic flies and that will actually start to eat the caterpillar before it comes out. So there's so many things going against them. So if, I helped 7 launch last year, this year I'm hoping to do more and more people just, take the time to do this. You could even, when you're in a field with the milkweed, if you see any chrysalis hanging on the plants in the field, you could bring them home. You could just tape the leaves up on the, on your ceiling. If you want, tape a leaf to the ceiling in a room. I mean, they don't go anywhere when they first hatch, and there's no poop or anything. Like I said, once they're in the chrysalis, if you have a screened porch or anything like that, I have a friend that is also, if she sees a chrysalis, she brings them home and hangs them. You just have to be super careful, because if it gets banged around at all, or if it falls, say and hits the floor and is a little misshapen or anything, it damages the caterpillar that's inside. So you want to be really careful. Same thing when they're hatching. You don't want to try to touch anything or move anything, because again, if the caterpillar falls and the wings get crushed at all. When they first come out, they'll be misshapen because they're like soaking wet when they come out, and it takes a few hours for them to dry and uncurl and just go through that whole process with that hormone.
Mm, mm. Yeah, yeah, I imagine.
I highly recommend it. I never thought I was a bug person. I never, really held bugs. I mean, I held worms, and things like that. But I learned so much, and I have so much more respect for even the tiniest little beings now. Before you think about stepping on something or just dismissing something, however little it is, it's really important in the grand scheme of things. Whether it's for someone else's food supply or for ours, they're important.